Guys, welcome. So in this tutorial we're basically going to check how to create a deadlock scenario programatically. So we're basically just checking how we can create a deadlock programmatically. So first we might wonder as to what a deadlock is. So what is a deadlock? So a deadlock is a special scenario in which multi-threaded environment where two or more threads are blocked forever. So the deadlock situation arises with at least two threads and two or more threads are running at the same time. So let's create a program to check how we can see this deadlock scenario in Java. So we'll create a Java project. So name this project as what are we going to name it? We'll name it as thread deadlock. Okay, so click finish. Sorry, next. Let's name it as thread deadlock. So click finish. So once our Java project is open, so we've seen a class has been created which is thread deadlock, and this is our main method where every code execution starts from. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll create a class. So we'll say class sync thread implements. What are we implementing? We implement runnable. Okay. So once that is done, the next thing we'll do is we'll say private object. We'll give it the first object 1. We'll do that. Object 1. Then we'll copy this again, put it on the next line. So say object 2. Okay, so once this is done, we'll say public. Okay, public, we'll say sync thread. We'll pass in the two objects. That's object 1. We'll say 1, and we'll say object, we'll say 2. Okay, so once that is that, we'll do that. Okay, this closes here, this closes here, this closes. This is unnecessary. Okay, let's remove this actually. So the next thing we're going to say, we'll say this, we'll call it this keyword, this dot object 1 is equal to 1. Then we'll say this dot object 2 is equal to 2. Okay, so once this is done, the next thing is when we introduce the run method. So say public void run. So of course we'll annotate it. We'll call at override okay. So once this is like this, we'll say string name is equal to thread dot current thread dot get name. Okay, then we'll say system dot out dot print line. We're trying to print name here. Then we'll say acquiring lock on that object one. Okay, so after we're done with that, we'll say synchronized. Let's call synchronized. We'll say object one. Okay, so synchronized object one. Okay, synchronized object one. Then we'll say system dot out dot print line. Okay, so we're printing the name here, so we'll do that. So we'll say acquired lock on object one. So we'll call this the work method. We'll say work. Okay. We'll say that first. Maybe one thing we must try to do now is, let's leave this out first. We need to create a new method. So now we'll say after that is that, okay, system.out.println object one. Then we'll say system.out.println. So we're saying name that. Okay, so we're saying released lock on trying to release a lock. So we'll do that. Release lock on object 2. Okay, so acquired lock on that. So we'll say acquiring lock on object 1. In fact, let's do this. Let's copy this same one here. Okay, then we bring that down. We synchronize object 1. Then we say acquiring object 2 there. So once our object 2 is okay, we'll say okay, that is okay there. So we'll say we'll call synchronized object 2 there. Okay, synchronized object 2. Then let's call this again here. Okay, are we okay? Okay, we seem to be okay there. Okay, so after synchronizing object 2 there, then we'll go there. Then we'll say system.out.println So now here, what are we printing? We're saying name, that, we're saying released, lock on. We're calling again object 2 here. We're releasing the lock object 2. Okay, let's put this on top. After releasing the lock, we'll say system.out.println. So we'll say name again there. We'll say released lock on. This will say object 1. Then we'll say system again .out.println. We'll say name. Then we'll say finished execution. Okay, this is okay. So okay, that looks okay. Then maybe let's create another method here, the one we needed to call. So we'll say private void work. So that's our method there. We'll say that. We'll say we introduce a try. Okay, we'll say thread dot sleep. So we're making this thread sleep. We'll make it sleep for that. Okay. Okay, yeah, that is okay. So inside here we'll say, what are we catching? We're catching an interrupted exception. Okay, then we'll say e. Then let's go inside there. We'll say e dot print stack trace. Okay, now that looks okay. I think that looks okay there. That looks okay. So go back inside, synchronize for the first object. For the first object here, we'll call work. Then for the second object again, we'll call work. Okay. Then after that, okay, everything looks okay. Sync thread, that everything looks okay. Then in our main method now, in our main method, let's say object ob object 1 is equal to new object. So let's copy this for sake of time, print, and we'll say object 2, and we'll say object 3. Okay, so once that is done, we'll say thread then we'll say t1 is equal to new thread. So inside this new thread, we'll pass new sync thread that will take in object 1, object 2. Then we'll say t1 there. Okay, let's see new thread. New sync thread, object 1, object 2, T1. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, where's the bug coming from? So we'll say that. Let's see, new sync thread. The new sync thread. Okay, that looks fine. Implements runnable. Say private object 1, private object 2, public O1, O2, this dot O1, O2. Okay, that's okay. So run there. Code our first object. That looks okay. So say thread there. Okay, so we code the thread. We say T1. Okay, let's continue. So say thread T2 is equal to new thread, new sync thread, object 1, object 2, comma, T2. Okay. So say object 2, say object 3 there. So object 1, T1, this is now main thread. Say throws interrupted exception. Okay. So we're calling, created an object 1 is equal to new object, then object 2, so new object as well, then object 3 is equal to that, then we're calling our thread is equal to new thread. Okay, then new sync thread, object 1, object 2, then T1 that side. Okay, that looks okay. Where are the bugs coming from? Okay. Okay. Then let's copy this to see where the bug is coming from. Everything looks okay. So T3, then we'll say object 3, then object 1. Then we say T1 dot start. Then we say thread dot sleep. Okay. 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 Okay, thread to sleep. Then I say thread. Then T2 dot start. Okay. Then I say thread to sleep again. The last part was say T3 dot start. Okay, so here let it sleep for 5,000. Here let it sleep for 5,000. Okay, so okay. Okay, that looks okay. Let's try to run this. Okay. 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 So, and there you have it, guys. So that's basically how you can demonstrate a deadlock in Java. So we see that we can see in this program that all threads are in a deadlock. So it keeps running. So it's just running. All threads are in a deadlock right now. So that's how you can demonstrate a deadlock scenario. So these are blocked forever. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that we create more content for this page. Thank you.